Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann, Underwood, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2024 INEOS Grenadier station wagon with the Rough Pack. The Rough Pack includes the upgraded 265/70 BF Goodrich tire. Now these are more aggressive off-road tires. Now these are wrapped around 17-inch steel wheels. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Sela Green, or Sela Green. It looks really nice. Now it is just pollen season. This vehicle was cleaned just a short while ago and now it's covered in pollen. But I think you can tell it's like a very bold green, very impressive. Now you can see it has these optional diamond plate pieces here to protect the surface. You can kind of use that as a surface to set something down instead of just the paint. It has the Grenadier name there on the hood. This is Grenadier made on purpose. Very rugged vehicle. So here in the front, it has a metal bumper, very solid metal bumper, and you notice it's in separate pieces. Here is a separate piece from here and here. So that way you can replace those in sections. There's also airflow. It's like a honeycomb airflow right in here that adds to the cooling for the engine. And there's the regular area where the air goes through. Now you notice it has these little chrome pieces. This is kind of like a non-reflective black surface, but yeah, looking really nice. Now it has these off-road lights here in the center, and these are only for off-road. And then you have the regular high and low beam projector system for the regular headlights. So this would be the low beams, and then the high beams are down here. And it also has a halo, which also serves as the turn signal, LED, everything. Now there's skid plates, recovery hooks under here. And I like the way a lot of this stuff, the airflow is covered. So rocks and stuff like that don't get in there and damage the cooling pieces. Like fins and stuff like that, like your condenser coils, all that stuff. So you have a lot of cooling and it covers it up, especially in the lower areas. There's parking sensor across the front and back. And check out those approach angles. Really impressive how this kind of swoops up. Gives you a really, really good approach angle. Looking at the profile, pretty impressive, neat looking vehicle, especially for a 2024 model. And okay, so this has the solid top there, and it doesn't have any kind of contrast. So like say you can get a different contrasting roof, you can also get a contrasting ladder frame under here. And right now it's just all black, but you know, you can get like a red ladder frame down here, and it has a solid box type ladder frame like a heavy duty truck. And it's interesting that you can get like a red frame and it'll kind of peek through when you see underneath the vehicle. So there are different contrasting elements that you can purchase on the vehicle. Now you can see it has this durable plastic around the wheel wells here, around the base of the doors as well. Massive cast hinges, and you'll see those pretty much everywhere. The hood, the tailgates, and the doors here. Now the doors are aluminum, and the hood's aluminum as well, and then the rest of the pieces are a steel, stamped steel material. And you notice this one has the American flag. You can have basically your pick there. It's an optional upgrade to have a flag there. And this one has these little bumpers here on the side. Some of these vehicles, this is gone, and there is little places to hook stuff for external, you know, hanging additional package accessories and stuff like that on the side of the vehicle. But this rubber piece right here is pretty nice rubber piece. I think that would be very useful unless you're intentionally want to hang stuff there on the side. There's also places here for attachment places, and there's attachment places on the roof as well. And there's also the sidebars in which you can kind of reach up there. You can also tie down stuff, but you can, you know, gonna grab that, lift yourself up and access the top. And there's a lot of accessories, similar to Jeep, where there's like tons of accessories, but there's a full roof rack that you can put on this vehicle, put a tent up there or whatever. Pretty incredible. Now this one has the optional rock rails. They do have a side step because it is quite high off the ground. So, you know, getting up and into this vehicle and out is, for a short person, would be kind of hard. So, you know, if you need the side steps, you can definitely have them. But this one has the optional rock rails. Kind of slide over obstacles when you're driving and protect the vehicle. This is what the key looks like. And it's not like a proximity type system. It does have the remote lock and unlock and has a panic button here in the center, but it has a physical key right here. And that's what you have to use to start the vehicle. But yeah, pretty solid feeling key. It's not super solid, like the key has a little wobble to it, but overall it feels pretty good. It feels like it's well made overall. These doors are pretty interesting because they have like the push button here, and the door seals are very strong, and so it takes quite a bit of effort to make sure you close it. It's real easy to not close it all the way, so it seals up really nice. Here's the inside of the passenger side door, and it has a soft touch right here. This is a gloss black. Kind of surprised with the gloss black here, but I guess you could, you can, you know, put something over that, like a wrap or something if you wanted to. And then it has these soft touch here, here, and then you have the harder touch surfaces at the bottom. So this is kind of like a vinyl type material here. This is like a injection molded type material is what it looks like. And then you have more vinyl stitching here. This is enclosed, so you can use that as a pocket. The only issue with some of the pockets is that they're all smooth plastic. So whatever you put in them is going to slide around. And this is an issue with the cargo area too. It definitely needs some kind of cargo mat or something. And the pockets in the vehicle definitely need something to put in there to keep things from sliding out around, especially if you're, you know, off-roading, that kind of thing. Like you'll notice in Jeeps and stuff, they'll have net pockets that kind of secure the load here in the door. So this one is not really a big deal, but it's something you do have to consider when you get the vehicle, that you will probably, a good idea to put something in there, some kind of felt or something. Here's a threshold area, just a regular old plastic sill plate there, and very durable interior materials, like super durable here, like waterproof and all that stuff. Now you can get carpet mats, or you can get these rubber floor mats, which I highly recommend those. The carpet mats, you know, if you're doing a lot of off-roading, that kind of stuff, may not hold up as well. These will be easier to clean. They'll hold up nice, and then you have the floor there underneath it. So yeah, very durable materials all the way around. Manually adjusted seats. You do have a height adjustment. The tilt to the back of the seat is here, and then the move the seat forward and back, you have it here. Pretty normal. Then you have your tools for your spare tire located underneath this seat. This has the optional leather interior, smooth leather, really nice. Has the contrast stitching. It's kind of like a silver contrast stitching, and really nice looking seats. Now these are made by Recaro, but they're not like the Recaro seats that like squeeze your body too overly. They do hug you and give you lots of support for off-roading and stuff like that, but they're not like overly intrusive, causing a problem getting in and out of the vehicle, or just, you know, basically giving you pain while you're driving. These are very comfortable, very well done seats, especially for this type of vehicle. So this area right here is kind of like a textured hard plastic here and here. There's the glove compartment, kind of small, but it has this really cool hardcover user manual, which is kind of neat. And then you have the handle here, off-roading handle, right there in the center. It's kind of like a, not soft, but it has like a leather surface texture feel to it. There is a handle here for helping you enter and exit the vehicle. There's also a handle up here as well. Now the dash is a soft touch, kind of rubbery, soft, non-reflective surface. And check out these kind of like a bullseye type climate control vents. You can open them and close them, and then you move them around. Those are cool. And we'll get into all these airplane switches up here. Now this one does not have the safari glass up here. Some vehicles have the safari glass. This one doesn't. I like this because the safari glass isn't tinted, so basically sun's in your face a lot. So this kind of helps out with that if you don't want that kind of thing. So you can see the opening here in the front, lots of room. Getting in and out of the vehicle, not a problem. I mean, other than the height. because the seat is quite high off the ground, the vehicle is quite high off the ground, you know, so that seat height compared to the floor is high, and then of course the vehicle is high up. Now the opening here in the back is a little bit smaller, so it's not really a big deal, but it doesn't really have a easy handle to grab like the front. It'd be nice if it had like a handle here or something like that. It does have the handle up here, but it'd be nice to have a handle there. So the inside of the back door, basically the same styling as the front. We have the gloss black, soft touch, and then the hard touch at the bottom, and then the pocket there. So you can see in the back seats are actually a little bit higher than the front seats, just slightly, because there is some stuff underneath these seats. And it gives you a good view too. So if you're off-roading or something and you're sitting in the back, you'll be able to get that view out the window and stuff like that. So this is basically a bench seat. You could put 3 adults here. It's a really wide vehicle. I don't know if you can tell that seat is very wide. So, you know, lots of room. Now the limiting factor with putting somebody in the middle is this console that comes back here and the hump in the middle. Now it has climate control vents, USB-C, USB-A charge ports back here as well. The back of the front seats, there's no mat pockets or anything, but it does have a hard touch surface there. And it's kind of dished out, helping with giving the passengers a little bit more room. And you see the floorboard there is nice and flat, other than that big center hump in the middle. Now there is tie downs here because you can fold down these seats. I'll show you that in a second. Now as the ISOFIX, or basically the latch system for car seats, very easy to get to. It's right there. There's no covers or anything like that. It's only on the outer seats, not in the center seat. Some lights there. There's an accessory attachment places here and here. So this bottom part just lifts up. You just grab it and just kind of lift it up. Get the seat belts out of the way here. But yeah, you just lift it up like so. It's fairly light. And under the seat there's some additional room here, but on this side is the JBL subwoofer. And you see that there's some empty space. You could potentially, you know, attach some other accessories or something in there, storage compartments, whatever, first aid kit. I don't know. It's just additional space that you can use basically. This side here, lift this up, and it has the 12-volt battery back here. There's also the fuse box over here. Kind of odd that the fuse box is not covered. It's just open and it's facing up, so things can, you know, go in it. So I would personally put some kind of cover over that, but you know, that's just the way it's designed. And you see there's a fairly good amount of space underneath the seat, especially on this side. And then to fold the seats down, you will need to take these headrests off, and then you pull the strap, and then you can fold these down in place, and you have a large cargo area back here. And it's a hard plastic once again, so some kind of cargo mat would help out with things sliding around. And it's not the same height as the rest of the cargo area, so it's not easily, you know, just lay down and take a nap. You know, you will have to either elevate the back or something in order to make it level enough to where you can put a bed or something back here. The fuel door is here on the passenger side, and it locks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle's locked, it's locked. Vehicle's unlocked, it opens up like this. Now it has a cap, tether, little place to hang the cap. It has this little post on it, like there, and then you can just put that post right there, and gets it out of the way while you're pumping gas. Now it does require or recommended premium fuel. Looking at the back of the vehicle, you can see that it has the third brake light right here at the top, very, very top. It has a ladder right here to access the roof, which you can use that for cargo space and stuff like that. There's a lot of accessories you can put up there as well. So it has a full ladder, LED tail lights, pretty impressive lights overall on the vehicle. And that has a full-size spare tire hanging here in the back. Parking sensors across the back. Now the backup camera is kind of like right over here. Not sure why they put that there. It's kind of offset, kind of in an odd spot. I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but I just can't think of it. It doesn't really It's not an excellent camera system anyway. I mean, it works, but the parking sensors also help you out. But yeah, it's one of those things where probably could have been put in a better place. Not sure. Now you can see it has the recovery hooks, really robust, strong recovery hooks back here. And there's also the skid plate. Now you can also get additional power outlet back here that's optional. This one doesn't have it. And these right here are reflectors. These are not lights. Okay, so opening this up, there's the handle. You open up this side, like so. Very strong, very solid feeling doors. There's also a handle on the inside as well. So if you're inside the vehicle and you want to open up, let's say you're sleeping in there or whatever, you can open it up and get out. Now this door, there's a handle back here. So you just reach back there and there's the handle. And what's cool about this is very similar to the Land Rover, in which anywhere you put it, it just stays right there. It's very solid. Even, you know, even with some wind, it seems pretty solid. And that's where it goes right there. Now there is a compartment here. Go ahead and open that up. You can put some stuff in here. You can put reflective triangles or whatever you want. First aid kit. It's pretty cool. Easy to get to. Especially a first aid kit. You don't want it buried under your stuff. You know, having it right there, easy to get to. There's nothing more that can get in the way. That's handy. There's also another compartment here. And then you can put stuff in there, but there's also an additional opening here as well. And that's where you'll find your jack for the spare tire. You saw the tools underneath the passenger seat. Here's a actual real hydraulic jack, you know, not like a scissor jack or some kind of, you know, modern thing that most vehicles have. It has a real hydraulic jack. Nice. Now you notice there's tie downs everywhere, very strong. Looks like stainless steel tie downs here. They're on the sides. They're in the front. Pretty much everywhere, so you can tie it down from different angles. There's also a, right in here, power outlet. And it is 320 watts. So that's a pretty good amount. 10 amps, 12 volts. Pretty good amount of power for that kind of outlet. Now there is no subfloor or anything like that. This is very, very, very slippery, like ice. So whatever you put back here, you definitely got to tie it down or put up some kind of mat here. And that's one thing I'm noticing with this vehicle. Now it's very easy to clean, and I think they wanted a very durable, easy to clean surface, which makes sense with this type of material. But you know, as far as having stuff down back here, off-roading, moving around, you tie it down or have some kind of cargo mat back here. Now the seats, when they fold down, they add to your cargo space, but they're not completely flat with the cargo space back here. But they do give a lot of room, almost double the amount of room back here. Very important that you close this door first, because you see the striker will strike the other door if you close the other one first. So that goes there. Then you can close this one. And it's very solid feeling. Once you close it, I mean, it feels like it's very, very, it's not going to rattle or anything like that for sure. Starting it up, you just use the switchblade key here. And go right there and turn it. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the accelerator, brake pedal, very robust rubber surface here, and then you got the smooth plastic here on that, and the footrest here on the left side. Opening up the hood, there's a latch right here, which the door actually covers up, so you don't accidentally pull it while the door's shut when you're driving or whatever. But you pull it twice. Pull it one time, pull it again, and it fully releases the hood. So now all you have to do, lift up on hood. There's no latch or catch or anything like that, but it does require a prop to hold it up. So there's the prop right there, and it swings up to this position right here. Now, if you can reposition this prop back here and then lift the hood much higher, and then there's a secondary position there. So this gives you a much higher position and more access, but it does require a little bit more work because you have to reposition the prop in order to do it. So yeah, there's the prop position here. This is the first prop position. And then here's the much higher prop position. Much easier to get to everything. Okay, so it has this big cover over it, but it's basically an inline six. So going this way, there's lots of room here in the front, or a pretty good amount of room. You can access most things, including potentially the belts, the hoses, that kind of thing, a little bit easier. And check out these supports for the radiator. Holy cow, they are nice. Nice rigid steel, and then you got the rubber part right there, supports for the radiator. So off-roading keeps it still, but also gives you, if there is any flex, it's going to be able to take it up with these rubber pieces. Now the intake, it has a centrifugal force system where it spins the air as it's going into before it gets to the filter, and spins out any kind of dust or debris or dirt that might be in the air. Like if you're going down the dirt road, it tries to spin that air using the centrifugal force to sling it out, and has collectors for that dust and dirt before it gets to the air filter. So it keeps the air filter from getting prematurely clogged. Makes it last a little bit longer. A lot of heat shielding here on the back of the engine, on the firewall. Now you notice that there's no battery here. So the battery is located under the back seat like I showed you. And it is a turbocharged engine. This vehicle is powered by a BMW 3.0 liter straight six. So it's an inline turbocharged gasoline engine, and it puts out 282 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. And it's paired to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. It also has a transfer case that's manual. So it's a custom manual transfer case for this particular vehicle. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So the power windows, it's one touch down. You do have to lift it up in order to raise it. Side mirrors are adjusted here. Just pick a side, use that little pad to adjust them. And they're kind of in this low position, so you definitely want to make sure you adjust those properly before you start driving, because it's really easy for them to give you basically no information, like, not look in the area that you want, depending on how tall you are. So the driver's seat, just like the passenger side, it has the height adjustment here. You can slide the seat forward and back there. And the tilt the back is kind of far back right here. So you have to look, kind of have to feel for it, I guess. But yeah, really comfortable seats. Really like the way they look and feel. It does have a tilt and telescoping steering column as well. Just want to mention it has some serious climate control fans. You can definitely hear and feel these. You have the low setting. There's 1, there's 2, 3, and 4. And you put it on automatic. It seems like it kicks it into high gear. There's a little rubber storage area right here, rubberized. Now I wish that this kind of rubber material was used inside the pockets, because you can see you can take it out and clean it, put it back in there. But these rubber inserts will be really nice in the pockets and the doors and different places. So maybe they have some kind of accessory that you can buy for that. It kind of has a short this way windshield, but man, do you have some great visibility looking right down on the front of the vehicle. You can see right where the corners are of your vehicle and everything. Now, mostly because of the seat position, but also the way they angled it. There's not a lot of crap in your way. You can just see right out, straight down, and see the corners, and while you're driving, you have some really good views. Sitting in the driver's seat, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall, to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. It's a little bit, my foot right there, you can see it's a little bit resting on this piece right here. So that center area kind of extends out. It's not a big deal, but it does have a nice footrest, unlike the Wranglers. So it's definitely pretty comfortable. So yeah, this area right here is really nice. It kind of gets out of the way of my knee. This is a hard touch surface, so it's a good thing it's out of the way. Same thing here on the left side, lots of room. So 6 feet tall, not really a problem. If you're over 6 feet tall, probably 6'1", 6'2", it may be more, it's probably fine. All right, so this is the steering wheel. Very nice looking, high-end feeling leather wrap steering wheel. It has the Grenadier name here, stitched there on the inside. Really impressive. Feels good, looks good, has a center line, the 12 o'clock position, and it has like a little red indicator there as well. Perforations there on the inside. It feels really good. The thickness is nice, and having that, I don't know, just the styling is excellent. And the thickness there at the bottom has an open center, so you could, you know, use that. You can use that as grips here. It's got grips up there. Really nice. The cruise control is here on the left side. It has the voice recognition. Turn on the cruise control, set, resume, and cancel, and then the phone button there as well. So pretty basic. Here on the right side, volume for the radio, change through the tracks, and you can make selections here as well from the screen. So like if I scroll through, change through different radio stations, and then I can hit the OK button to select the one that I want. Now it has this little toot button, which is different from the horn. There's a horn, and then it has a toot. So it's a little bit lower, it's a little bit less obnoxious, little toot button. And you notice it has a little picture of a bicycle, you know? So if you're honking at somebody in a bicycle, the loud horn isn't necessary because they can hear you easier than somebody in the car. So having the horn, the loud horn, and the little toot button is excellent. I love that feature. Now it has the windshield wiper controls here on the right side, pretty standard, intermittent stuff like that. And then you have your headlight switch with a turn signal. It does have automatic headlights, parking lights, and then you can turn them off as well. And right in here, you'll notice there's no gauge cluster. It just has some little lights, letting you know the headlights are turned on, and so it's just a little status lights right here. There's no like there's no screen there to give you any additional information. Everything's located over here. So the speedometer and all that stuff is here. And what I noticed about the screen is this side is not a touch screen. So basically just has that fixed location. So that takes the place of this over here, would be normally your gauge cluster. So your gauge cluster is here, and it's fine. So you can see your speedometer just fine. It's large enough to see it and all that stuff. It shows the RPMs, status of the cruise control, and lane keep assist system. And it has, which I don't have a lot of experience with the lane keep assist system, but from what I understand, it needs some updates, which I think they are coming, because it depends on if you're driving off-road and stuff like that, then it's not a big deal, but you want to make sure you just turn it off. It shows what gear you're in, your odometer, your range, and then it has like these warning lights right here. Like right now, it's just showing me that my seat belt is not on, and the fuel temperature. So it kind of cycles through different information right there. Here on the right side, I kind of like this, the way they designed it, because it has these fixed buttons, so it's really easy to get to different things. But you'll notice that there's a bezel on the screen, real thick bezel here, but they just recessed the screen a little bit low, so the bottom buttons are a little bit kind of low. So you know, keep that in mind. And also, like, this could have been a nice little edge to set something, but since you're setting it right against the screen, you know, it's not really usable for that. But having the home button, off-road button, takes a second. Altitude, temperature. Let's go ahead and go to temperature. Shows your pressure and temperature of the wheels, of the tire. Pretty interesting. The gearbox temperature, transfer case temperature. That is impressive. Alright, let's go back here. See altimeter here. G-force has the pitch and roll. Angle, steering angle. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the little steering wheel angle right there as well. So a lot of very useful information. Pathfinder, So this would be, you can record a path. Let's go to the road book here. This uses the GPS, and it's showing us to connect it to 28 satellites to record your path using your coordinates, basically, and how long you've driven and stuff like that. And you can, of course, reset it. Go to statistics here. It shows, we haven't really done anything, so there's nothing to show, but it keeps track of everything. Electrical. So this will show your status of the electrical system. You know, so right now, if you connect a voltmeter to the battery, that's what it'll show, 14.2 volts. State of charge for that battery and battery temperature, which is excellent. And then whether it's charging or discharging, basically. So you can keep an eye on that. You know, like if you're out somewhere and then all of a sudden your voltage keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, you might want to head back before you turn it off again. That kind of thing. And keep an eye on it. All right, phone. This is where you pair your phones. Audio. This is the different audio sources here. You can browse different devices. You can connect your phone. You can have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. Then you go into your settings. There's the different settings you can go through. Let's go to acoustic settings. So that's so you can adjust your radio, sound system, and all that stuff. And then there's the home button. It has a small digital clock. I wish I was a little bit bigger, maybe, you know, in a more fixed location that's kind of bigger, that you won't get confused with other gauges. It shows the outside temperature, your altitude, status of your phone, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think that I could definitely get used to it. There's a few things just being nitpicky, I would say I would change. You know, like the clock and certain things that maybe speed up the system so it's not quite as laggy, that kind of thing. But from what I understand, there is a lot of software updates left to go on this vehicle. So they're working on stuff all the time. It's a new product, and so the software updates are definitely a thing that's relatively easy to do. I like this emblem right here, the Grenadier emblem. Looking pretty cool. And check it out. There is some cool stuff. We're going to get to this, and also we're going to get to this here in a second. It's pretty neat. So yeah, the heated seats. It's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and passenger. There's your climate controls, fan speed, temperature, where you want the air to blow. You have the front and rear defrosters. Climate control, you can turn on the air conditioning. You can recirculate the air. This is where you have the hazard lights. I like these little bars right there, so you don't accidentally press it. But on this particular button, it seems like it's just mostly for looks, but it looks pretty cool. Stop start feature, you can turn that off here. That's the off light. The volume for the radio is here, and then the park assist, you can turn it off. So this has pretty loud parking sensors, so if you need to turn it off, you're getting close to something, you can do that if you need to. But default is on, so that's the off button once again. This parking brake, hand brake, is pretty interesting because it's spring loaded, so it's a lot of distance of travel. So as you pull it up, you can go all the way up, so it tensions is a big spring. So it's not like just a cable that you tighten. It actually tightens the cable, and then you have a spring that you can put varying degrees of pressure on. All right, so since we have a BMW engine, and transmission basically, we have a BMW shifter here. And let's go ahead and put it in reverse. So you can see the status of the backup camera. It's kind of small. You can see where the location of the camera is kind of a little bit of an issue. You can see the bumper, you can see the spare tire, and it's kind of wedged underneath everything. You can still see, it does have active guidelines as well, so as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the status of which direction the vehicle is going to go. But overall, I think they could have implemented the backup camera a little bit better. And we'll get to more visibility in a second. Alright, so that is reverse. We'll pull it down gently, go into neutral, pull it down gently, go into drive. Or if we are in park, like so, which is the park button here. Just press this button here on the side, pull down all the way, and you go into drive. You can go over here to manual shift through the gears right here. So now you can bump it like a ratchet shifter and manually switch through the gears. And you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show right here. So as I pull through, I can have some control over the shifting. You can always go back into drive, and then there's park right here. Nice little rubberized compartment here. Now this is it has an automatic transmission, 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. This is a manual transfer case. It has high and low. So it has high and low without the lock. You move it over here, high and low, to lock the differential. There's also front and rear differentials. We'll show you how you can engage those as well. So this one has the rough package, so it has some upgrades. So the way the screen is, you can use it as a touch screen, or you can use this little dial. So you can kind of scroll through here, bump up and down to different categories, that kind of thing. So using this, I can bump it up and down, turn it, make selections, hit the options, menu, back button, off-road, favorites, and audio. So you have all these different shortcuts in addition to just using the screen, because it is kind of far out there. So it's easy to use this, and I think that would be, for most people, would use this most of the time. There's some cup holders here. It has these little rubber bumps to kind of hold the cups or whatever. And it's kind of rubbery on the side where the bumps are, but it's smooth, once again, smooth on the plastic at the bottom. Alright, here's the armrest. Not very soft. It feels like a tire or something, kind of rubbery soft, but not soft. But it's all right. It's not like a brick or anything. It does give a little bit. It lifts up. Has a little latch here. It lifts up, and it's fairly solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to rattle or anything. It does release it, and it springs up so it doesn't flop back down on you. It has these little rubber bumpers there. That's probably why it feels so solid. And then here's a storage compartment. It has a USB 12-volt power supply as well. So there's regular USB and USB-Cs there. And this has a rubber mat inside. Not super grippy, but it does have one. There's little clips right here. You can put your registration or whatever, driver's license. It is a lockable compartment. There's the keys, and you can see the little manual lock right here. Now the rearview mirror is just a regular, standard, manual rearview mirror. It also has this whole section up here is really interesting. We have lights, and you can use these buttons, just to mention, with gloves on. Like, these buttons are spaced out, they're easy to press, they're very, very tactile. You know, you can feel that you pressed them. You turn on all the interior lights, have them turn on with the door or not, and then you can have the, this is the passenger light right here. You do have the auxiliary external lights that you can turn on here, and then you can adjust the level of those. So those front off-road lights I showed you, you can turn them on when you're off-roading only, and then you can adjust the level. So basically up and down, to aim it where you want. So up would be a further distance, down would be a shorter distance, basically. And also it depends, if how much cargo you have, that kind of thing, and you can aim them. Being able to aim them that's pretty awesome. You do have the traction control off button. So default is on, but you can turn it off here. So that's the off button again. Downhill descent. So this would be like off-road cruise control, very, very slow crawl downhill, keeping you from slipping, that kind of thing. And then you have the different off-road modes here, just turning off-road on in general, and then you have the waiting button right here. Now I'm not sure exactly what the waiting is for. Maybe it pressurizes something. I'm not really sure what that does. Now I like the way you have some measurements here as far as the vehicle. Pretty cool. You can have the front and rear locking differential. So this is really handy, and this is part of the rough pack, and this makes this vehicle different from a lot of other off-road vehicles, having that front locking differential. So you got front and rear. Awesome. And you notice there's some blank spaces here and here, which you can add some stuff. These panels can come out and you can add stuff here. And then you have auxiliary switches. You have the full on power. 10 amps, 10 amps, 10 amps. So you have exterior and 2 interiors here, and that's the full, you can turn on the power when the vehicle's off. But, you know, of course, it's going to use the battery. The headliner is just a beige cloth headliner, but the visors are a plastic. So if your hands are dirty or whatever, touching the visors, it's going to be very easy to clean. So having that vinyl is really nice. There's a little warning right there. Now, this does not extend out or anything, but it goes here to the side, which doesn't really give you much coverage. But it does give you lots of coverage here. Basically the same thing on the other side. So looking at the visibility in the back, you can see those headrests really do make a big difference. So if you don't need any passengers back there, you can definitely fold those down and add a lot of open area for you to look out. So you can see those windows are actually pretty good as far as visibility back here. The pillars are relatively narrow, not really a huge deal, but you know, we have just so many windows and they're large. It's a tall vehicle, so it does have the parking sensors and the camera system as well to help you out. Just want to comment on the steering. This has a very short turning radius, so as you turn lock to lock, it doesn't give you really sharp turning. Also, when you're driving the steering, it is like, it doesn't return to center. You know, you have to constantly, it's a little bit different. Like if you just like trade a regular SUV on this vehicle, you're gonna have to get a little bit used to driving it, because I mean, it's fine driving on off-road, on-road is fine. It's just a little bit different. That's all I'm saying. It's not a bad thing. It's a very solid structured vehicle, and it's designed to be very durable, and so it's just a little bit different on the power steering design. So just keep that in mind. You know, just when you first drive one, take one for a test drive or whatever, just don't go trying to whip around and drive like you normally do. Just get a little bit used to it first before you you know, get a little bit cocky while you're driving. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann Underwood, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for providing the vehicle. And if you're interested in this vehicle, I have a link in the description where you can purchase it. You can also, there will be another link to my website where I have tons of information, detailed specifications, and just additional information that I'm going to kind of put together for you, so you can learn about different specifications, like different options that you can add to the vehicle, and different links that you can, you know, find out more information. So that link is going to provide you with a lot of extra information, because the website isn't all that great for the Grenadier vehicle right now. So I'm going all over the place trying to kind of aggregate some information for you. So hopefully it'll help you out with your research and everything. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.